Right, okay, guys. Let's just let you guys know. I've just made a quick tea. I've got half an hour, so let's tell everyone quickly. Let's say people's names. Clara Maria, Tina Preston. I'm gonna say all your names. Come on, let's do it. John Burrows, Elizabeth. We'll do loads of names. Come on, we'll just do it for a laugh. Elaine, who thinks cholesterol is bad for you. Elaine is not bad for you. I mean, Elaine, cholesterol is not bad for you. It's a big lie. Look up Dr. Ken Berry. He'll explain it to you. Diana. Ruby. Does Ruby actually join us? I don't really know. Tina. Let's quickly rushing through all the names. Janet. I don't know if all of these people still join us. Pat. Yeah, we know Pat joins us. We love Pat. Karen does. Karen has told me she's going to start a Lisa Marie channel. Then we have Nessa. I really respect Nessa. He's amazing. He's a great guy. Deborah and Jean. Richard, my friend Richie boy. We miss you, Richard. So we've got Pamela, Marion. I've got so many names. Theory. Maria. We love Maria. Her son is an ETA. He's amazing. Cherie. We love Cherie. Then we've got Susie McCoy. How are you, Susie? We've got Josie. So it's amazing, guys. We've got Tonya. So we'll keep going. Obviously, Nicola. We love Nicola. And then we've got Deborah, Auntie Deborah. She must be awake now. Deborah, you must be awake. Dora. We've got Jimmy. Good old Jimmy. Thea. He said, Galabospa is Thea. Then we've got Stacy. Lovely Stacy. Then we have Desiree. Hi, Desiree. How are you? We have Melissa. Gorgeous Melissa. Sometimes it says liar or lice. Andrew Phillips, my friend. Dan, who is very, very helpful for me. Rose Finney, who sends me loads of juicy stuff. We love Rose. Emily, Boss Buys. Ella Bamin Bapeda. Right. Karen, who's thriving on the diet. Welcome back from Graceland. Come on, let's tell Joe as well. Joe, Rare Elvis Photos. Amy, lovely Auntie Amy. Our beautiful researcher. We've got Joanne. Okay. And then, okay. So I think that's everyone on that list. Then what I tend to do is I go over to Instagram. We've got Rick, my friend Rick. Then we have, let's have a look. Debbie, who is thriving on the diet. I know this is taking a while, guys. Elizabeth and Lorna, lovely Elizabeth. Okay, we'll get in there. Darlene, I haven't seen Darlene for a while. So then we go over to WhatsApp. That's Tony. And then we have lovely Linda. Linda is so good to me. Tony is so good to me. Then I go over to Yahoo. Still got a few more people to mention. And I messaged Salvatore. Salvatore, you know we miss you. Let's have a look. Salvatore. Okay. Oops. Doing that wrong. I can hear the kids are here, guys. So then we have lovely Carolyn. Hi. Where is everyone, Carolyn? I've messaged everyone. Where is everyone? Not Carolyn, Lorna. Hi, Lorna. How are you? Right, I've just messaged everyone. One more to go, which is Angie. Okay, I'll grab my. I've already made my tea. I just got to grab it. Right, I think that's everyone. Obviously, there are more people, but that is the bulk of people. Okay, grab my tea, which I've already made. Where did I put it? Here. Okay. So let's get. I want to turn the heating on. Turn the heating on. But Tina, I am live. Right, you got to be Yasmin. You got to be quiet because I'm live. I'm only live for a little while, not long. Okay, you can say hello if you want. Okay, guys, I'm gonna. It's just Lorna. It's just you and me. It's you and me. Yeah, I've had a good day, Lorna. I've done so many lives today. Like, I've done 3, what, 1, 2. I'm sure I've done 5 lives. Right, let's see Yasmin. Let me just put the camera over so we can see Yasmin. Okay, yes. If I make right, mind that tea. Let me move the tea away from. Let me move the tea away from you. I don't want you to get hot, get burnt.
It's green.
Should we make this a bit smaller?
Can we see yours has blue or green?
That's weird, that, isn't it? Yours is green, but on the TV it's blue. That's really weird.
This is actually green, okay?
Oh, I don't understand that. That's strange, isn't it? Okay, right. We're gonna try. Hi, Amy. We quickly jumped on for half an hour. How is Amy? Amy, have you been enjoying my lives? Oh, I've had an interesting couple of days with my lives. So how are you? So, yeah, Amy just said hello. Auntie Amy. Auntie Amy just said hello. So we got a cup of tea.
Stacey.
Hi Stacey. Right. So what I'm gonna do, I've got this Facebook page where I store all of my research. Yeah. So I'm just going through it and I'm clicking on anything. Amy, it's been interesting. It's been interesting as usual. Of course, we know why, because we are. What are we, Yasmin?
The dramatic YouTube.
Yeah, the most dramatic YouTube channel. So we are under severe weather here. Are you? Didn't know that. You got They got tornadoes, a bit like the Wizard of Oz. You know the Wizard of Oz? Remember the tornado throws the house up in the air?
Oh yeah.
That's what Amy's got. Wow.
The doggy.
All right, Lorna, did you enjoy them? They were pretty dramatic, you know me. But I tell you what, I did a lovely live stream today with Donna Presley. It was really good. Like one of the best live streams we've done. She's dressed in her army gear. She looks amazing. She's in her 70s. She's being interviewed. Yeah, of course you can, sweetheart.
Today in like 3 hours.
Oh yeah.
And my baby's gonna come, and I just sorted out of the clothes for her. Because I have all books of clothes.
So she's getting a gel baby. A gel. Really expensive.
It's £45.
£45 for a baby.
And it's washable, but it's not a gel baby, whatever it's called. You know.
Hi, Karen.
Silicone baby. It's not a silicone baby.
So, what was I saying? I was saying something. Yes, the Donna Presley interview that we showed was amazing. It was like, wow. It was last year. I think it was in Germany.
Daddy.
Yeah, we are live, mate. I think it was in Germany. Yeah. It was brilliant. Brilliant. Absolutely. One of the best interviews I've ever seen about Elvis. Yes?
It's dinner in 40 minutes.
Okay. Let me press play on this to see if it's any good.
And the image and the legend.
I just want to see if this is any good. Now, I think this is about the book.
What impact do you think
Elvis,
it's going
what
to
happened?
have?
Gina, we can't keep the
I don't have regrets for writing the book. I have a lot of sorrowful feelings about the timing because what's happening now, the rumors that are going about
No,
is that
don't climb on there. No, I've got a hot tea.
there are some rumors around
Right, let me go.
trying to
'Cause
portray
otherwise I can't
us
do this.
as bloodsuckers who
There we go.
wrote this book to capitalize on the death of Elvis Presley.
Now, of course, that is Dave Hebler. I personally think Dave needs to still say sorry, needs to show remorse. Yeah. I don't hate him or anything. You know, he's an old man now. He's done some interviews recently. I've got a new interview actually that I haven't shown yet. We know that Artist on Record, Stefan, did one with him, which we're going to review. But Dan sent me a Dave Hebler interview that I haven't watched yet. Just stand there a minute. That I haven't watched yet. So Dave Hebler, say sorry. Say sorry. But Red West and Sonny West, of course, they passed. Did they ever show regret? Someone told me that Sonny showed regret, but not so much Red.
And they never seemed to realize that the book was written a year ago, when he was alive.
Well, Dave and Sonny, at the spur of the moment, many times before, Elvis used to go up and just buy gifts for people, automobiles and everything else. Why did he do that?
He loved to give.
Drugs have anything to do with that?
I don't think so. I think it was just the spirit. He wanted to see the person's face when he gave it to him. I mean, it was he was insistent upon that. He liked to see, and he would be with them and share it with them, boy, for that time. And then the next day, he didn't want you to mention it. That it was gone and past, and that moment was it. And he gave it to you, and he wanted you.
I mean, they made the excuse that it was to help him, to stop him taking his medication, his drugs. But come on, guys. It was revenge. It was bitterness. It was money, anger. It was never to stop him taking his tablets. Never. I honestly don't believe that. They blame Steve Dunleavy. They blame the publishers. Nah. They made a mistake. They betrayed him.
You just accepted in that sense that he enjoyed giving it to you, and he didn't want you to carry on about it over a period of time. Excuse me. And he loved to give. We went with him one time to a black lady in Memphis that he had read about in the paper that was crippled. And he read about it, just an article in there, no special appeal thing. And he went and bought the most expensive wheelchair, electric wheelchair, and took it over to her and gave her some money and stuff. I mean, this is the way it was.
That's more like it.
What feedback had you ever gotten from Elvis on the book? Did you get any of that?
No. He said he wasn't worried about it.
What did he mean, do you think?
He just meant that he wasn't. He knew, man, that we loved him. He knew that we weren't going to chop him up or try to axe him or anything. He knew. He knows now that. I'm telling you.
What was the purpose of calling this press conference? I'd like.
So I do think that when these people, when they're questioning Red West, Sonny West, Dave Hebler, I know Red isn't there, is it? When they're questioning these Sonny and Dave, they are trying to say, I think they're sort of saying, we know you betrayed him, but why are you betraying him?
To counteract what we think people have gone around without reading the book, just going out and thinking from hearing from someone on a certain individual on different shows about their reaction to the book, and they haven't read the book, and then some of the people that are talking haven't read the book, and we think that I think it deserves a fair thing for us to be able to say our side and how much we did love the guy and how much admiration we had for him. When we wrote this book, it was out of bitterness and hurt to start with. I tell you, when we were given 3 days notice by his father and a week.
So bitterness and hurt. But come on, does everyone that is bitter and hurt write a book about their friend they grew up with? Come on, guys.
Pay. After 16 years, 20 years, 2.5, 3 years with Dave, we all had families, and he wouldn't talk to us himself. He flew out of town, and he had his father do it.
Why did he terminate you?
At the time, it was told.
So I'm just reading Amy's comment, and Red West called Elvis himself and said Dave couldn't be trusted. He said Ed Parker had warned him about Dave. Yes, Red did. Right, okay, thank you, Amy. Red did apologize, but I feel that he truly had regrets. Yeah, I think I go along with that. I do think deep down Red really regretted it. Thank you, Amy. things were made worse for Elvis. Yeah, worries and stress. Yeah, come on. We know Elvis was gutted about that book that was about to be released. We've been told that Elvis received the book before it was released, and he only died a few weeks later, didn't he? So let me just Dave. Right, Larry. Hi, Larry. Dave was all right, but in some aspects he was a little sneaky snake. You had to keep an eye on him. I think you may be right, mate. I watch his interviews. He still seems very angry. I've seen 3 Dave Hebler interviews, recent ones. He still seems angry.
Told us by his father that there was a cutback on expenses, which I knew wasn't true. And he called me and he said, so we're going to have to let a few people go. And I said, and I'm one of the people? And he said, yeah. He said, but there's going to be others. And I asked him, well, would you tell me who? And he said, no, I'd rather tell him personally. It turned out to be Dave and Red. And since then, there have been rumors that got back to us that it was because of the lawsuits that were against him. One for me, where I had hit a guy up in Tahoe that was trying to break in a locked exit door and turned out all our utilities, and had drawn back on Elvis's stepbrother. When I got to the hallway, he was drawn back, and I hit him, and that was only his own time. Body chops, and Elvis had never touched him. So that was going nowhere. But it was a hassle. He had to go give his deposition. He had to go up to the hotel there to Tahoe and give a deposition. And the man put his hand out to this guy, Ashley, that was hurt when we let go.
What about when you wrote the book?
Well, if you read the book, I don't think you'll see bitterness.
Well, I don't have time to read the book before I write a story.
He says, if you read the book, I don't think you see bitterness. But I'll tell you what, I read one of the chapters and it was horrific. It was horrible.
The daily paper to think about. I haven't got time to sit down and read the book. I better hear what you have to say.
Okay, that's fine.
Well, that's unfortunate because the problem is that, you know, everything is inexorably tied into the book. And, you know, I can't apologize for your lack of time not being able to read the book.
Well, your author, Dunleavy, seems to be prompting all.
I mean, Dave looks very uncomfortable there, doesn't he? Don't you think?
He's read the whole book, I assume, since he wrote it. He keeps talking about drugs all the time.
Well, he's sensationalism. I mean, he writes for the Star. As you know, it's on the same thing as the Enquirer, the sensationalism type thing. He's writing for the New York Post, too. He's running a series of articles in there. And when we met him, he wasn't like that when we were with him last year. I mean, he was interested. He broke down with us during the interviews. When he saw one of us get moved, when we would recall an instance of what this man had done. And I couldn't believe that was the same guy up there. I could not believe.
Have you tried to talk to him? What would you tell him if you could talk to him?
I would tell him, Steve. Well, I can't say what I'd tell him.
So, you know, it's obvious they're saying they're not happy with Steve Dunleavy, but come on, they still made the decision to do it, though, didn't they?
No, it would be curse words. I mean, I would call him a name. I said, what are you doing?
It would be curse words. I would call him a name.
Man, who are you? You were someone we told a story to, and you're going up there and blasting into him like that and saying the whole thing's about drugs. It's not. There's love and admiration in there.
There is love and admiration in there. I have to accept that. But not all. You know, some of the books of the book is actually quite good.
Book of misrepresentation?
Not at all. It's fact. It is true.
Well, where is the sensationalism?
Right.
You know?
The drugs thing that he keeps trying to bring up as the main thing, and it's not. The drug things are mentioned in there minutely.
Well, we definitely getting stressy, 100%.
If you read it, you'll see.
They're not happy that the drugs are being shown as the main thing of the book. But come on, guys. Of course they were going to do that. They were always going to do that.
Up there and could watch this man being embalmed, that was alive and well that day or something before,
right,
and I couldn't do that. But he was fat. It wasn't a thing of where he was an old type of killing and things with their hands. He was into all of these things. It wasn't just with death. He was curious about everything in life. He really was.
It wasn't a morbid thing.
Why are you here?
We have been told by someone that his father doesn't want us there.
And do you think Dunleavy's a phony now after all this?
I think that what I saw today was phony from the guy that I met a year ago. Yes, I do.
So as far as I know, they were locked up for 30 days in a hotel, and they put everything on tape. Is that right? Amy might know. They put everything on tape, and then the publishers and Steve Dunleavy went off and obviously finished the book off. from what I've learned, they didn't know what the end thing was going to be, the actual book. I think they're trying to give the impression that they're shocked and surprised how much it was sensationalized, and exaggerated and twisted, and how much of their words were changed. And they still did commit to doing it, though. They still all received some money. I don't know the exact figure. It could be $30,000 each. Does anyone know the actual figure they got? And I know that they did get a percentage of each book sale. I think it was like 0.5 cent or something. Yeah.
Dave, you seem to be implying before that you were writing the book in part to try and get Elvis to change his ways. Is that right?
You bet. That was one of the reasons. There were a number of reasons for writing the book. Number one,
right, this is interesting, guys. There were a number of reasons for writing the book, yeah?
we felt that the manner in which
We do have the book here. I've read half of this book, and I've listened to a lot of it on audio tape. It's free on YouTube. It's free.
we were discharged wasn't right. I mean, any employer has the inalienable right to fire any employee. No question about that at all. But nobody has a right to treat you like a piece of garbage. You know, nobody.
There's no way that Elvis treated them like a piece of garbage. I don't care how harsh Vernon was. Elvis was so good to these people. So good to them. They really owe Elvis. And they also spent the rest of their lives making money from his name. So there's no way Elvis treated them like garbage. No way. Even if Vernon was pretty short in the way that he laid them off. Was it a week's notice, a month's notice? Elvis thought they were given a longer notice period than Vernon gave them. We don't really know the truth, do we? But still, no excuse to write a book. No, you don't write a book about your friend under any circumstances.
And number two, to continue with that, is again, you know, to reiterate what we said earlier a couple of times, we wanted to point out to him, you know, what he was doing, not only to himself, but to the people around him. And we didn't want him to be what he was.
It had no, honestly, guys, I don't think they wanted to point out anything to Elvis. They were pissed off. They wanted to make some money. And there was a bit of revenge, jealousy, bitterness, envy. It was all there.
We wanted him to be what we knew he could be and had been, you know, again. And thirdly, we wanted to, my God, we had families, you know, and we're sitting out in the streets, and what are we going to do? Be 40-year-old stuntmen? Or
I wanted to add one thing to that. See, that's what I mean. A certain individual took...
So look, he just said, oh, what are we going to do? We're going to be 40-year-old stuntmen? Come on, guys. They were all very employable. They had been bodyguards for a celebrity for decades. I mean, not so long. Dave was only 3 or 4 years. But the rest of them, for decades, these were childhood friends, more or less. Yeah, from Humes High and upwards, wasn't it? Around that period. I know Red was first. Sonny came, I think, a year later. Come on, Red used to stop the bullies from picking on poor Elvis. I genuinely believe that Red and Sonny absolutely loved Elvis. I actually think deep down they were gutted that this all happened. But Dave Hebler, it's different. Dave Hebler, he still seems very angry and bitter. And like Karen just said, there's no way that book was going to make any difference to Elvis 2 weeks before he died, when it was released. Was it going to make any difference to Elvis's health, Elvis's abuse of prescribed medication, alleged abuse of prescribed medication? Elvis, a very sick man, a very chronically unwell man. His body really had been letting him down. Was that book really going to make a difference? Do they truly think that the public believe that the book was to help Elvis? I don't think so, guys. I don't think so.
The quote thing from me in the front page about maybe it will do some good. He didn't know what it means. He says, what does it mean it'll do some good? If he had read the book, he would have found in there that we were trying to present him with a challenge Because if he looked back and saw these things roll in front of him and know that they were true, I don't know how he might have dismissed them in his mind as the years went by. Well, it wasn't like, but when he saw it the way that it happened, like anyone else, when you read something about your former life or anything that you've done years ago, the reality of it is in front of you. It's not something you can, you know how it was. And that's what I meant when I said maybe it will do some good for him, for the drug culture, for people to realize no one is out of reach of drugs, man. Here is a man that had it in the palm of his hand and started.
This little sentence, we've heard it 1,000 times, and I think Dave Hebler goes on to say, how do you save a man from himself? So cruel, so embarrassing. Where is Elvis's dignity? Who is preserving Elvis's dignity in all of this press conference? So bad. And they're making excuses for the fact they wanted money. And Larry has just said they were given $10,000 each severance. I don't know the actual truth. Maybe other people do. But I think it's quite well known that Elvis was going to re-employ Red and Sonny, at least. Yeah. I think many people have said this. I don't know the truth. I wasn't there. But I'm not falling for this. They messed up. They messed up.
Off with it that way, and the drugs took it away from him.
But he says the drugs took it away from him. But why is there no mention of how unwell Elvis was? How seriously sick Elvis was? No mention of it.
Now we had to wait, so this is a two-way situation. Being a contributory factor.
What's your response to that?
Absolute nonsense. You know, how could it possibly have, you know, as a matter of fact, he even stated himself that, you know, he wasn't concerned about the book.
Is he talking about Elvis? That's complete rubbish.
And according to people, and you've seen it on the newscast, he's been for the last week.
So Amy says, but Sonny was willing and lied about the Page Peterson story and lied about it in his own book. Right, I need more info on that. Like Amy, you know that I've got a lot to learn, and you helped me a lot. So I don't know anything about the Page Peterson story. I'd love to know more. I'd love to, okay?
He's been very happy and looking forward to this upcoming tour.
Sonny, did his depression ever lead him to be suicidal at all?
No,
that was
too
never,
strong a person. Never.
Well, there we are. We get a question answered. Was Elvis ever suicidal? No, never. He's adamant. This is great.
How do you think that his death will affect?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Do you know how much the
I agree, Karen. I agree. Elvis was 100% devastated by that book. 100% humiliated.
We have no idea.
It just was released?
We have no idea, and we don't care.
Seriously, guys, shame on them. Shame on them. No hate here. Just a big mistake. No, and come on, guys. These are friends. These are friends. I would never do this to my friends. Would any of you here now watching on this live stream, there's 36 people watching, would you ever do that to your friends? No way.
Just for now.
Yeah, go on, quickly, go on. Yeah.
Gentlemen, when you sit down, you can split the mics.
Tina.
Yeah. And kind of speak up. Thank you.
Hey, as you look at the table,
So the Page Peterson, I'm really intrigued now. I really want to know about it.
Dave Hebler is on.
Do you have a statement to make, or we just going to ask you some questions?
No, the reason that we are here is to because we've seen some of the coverage on this, and we think that it's been entirely put in
Take care, Larry.
the wrong light by different individuals, and we'd like to see if somehow we can get it straight.
What is the straight?
The straight is that we love that man. That's what the straight is. And I'm telling you, no one could have been more shook up by that man dying than me.
I think you can tell that they're gutted. I can see it. I can see it. This means the world to them. I can see this. Yeah. Even, with the glasses on and the hair, the long hair and the big beard. That man, he looks devastated. it's almost like they've dug a hole they can't get out of. They've taken something too far and can't come back from it. And they're trying to climb out of a deep hole. It's not going to happen, because the truth is the world did see Sonny and Dave and Red as traitors. They did. And Sonny, Dave and Red have been receiving hate for 50 years, guys. Haven't they? Even now, Dave Hebler still gets hate. Still gets hate.
And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. And we wrote this, we started in this a year ago.
Speak up, please.
We started in this a year ago. And there's been nothing added, anything different than what it was already. The book was already completed, and we didn't expect anything like him to do this, because otherwise it would have gone on, and whether he put a lawsuit against us or whatever he would have done.
But if you love the man, why do you drag all of this in?
I mean, it's very emotional, isn't it? And the guy says, if you love the man, why did you drag all this up?
Information out and make it public.
Have you read the book?
I have not.
Okay. Wait till you read it.
I'm reading the synopsis.
Right. Well, read the book, please. I mean, you don't have to buy it. Just read it from someone, or hear someone that's read it, and find out that it's not the drug thing that's in there that so sticks out. It's the things that we did crazy, the good times, the things we had, and how we felt that the drug things changed him into the person that he became. That's all, his health and everything. But we did not specify that the drugs were the whole thing throughout.
I understand that. But why do you want to?
I'll tell you what, even how many years later is this? You know, it's still very upsetting and emotional, isn't it? Really, like, even now we're watching this like 50 years later, and it's like, you can feel, you can sense the upsets, the anguish, the torment. These guys really suffered, didn't they? Yeah. I know there are good parts of this book. There are. But it doesn't matter. Still should not have been written. And who chose the title? Who chose the title? Does anyone know who chose the title?
Tell that part, that side of Elvis.
Well, ever since I've known Elvis, this man has needed a challenge, and he's met it. He did it in 1973. When he is overweight, he was going to do a satellite show going into 25 countries, 1 billion people had never seen him perform before, and he knew it, and he went on a diet. He got down to about 165 pounds, the best I'd seen him look in several years, and he put on a dynamite show, and then he went right back to what he was doing before. He just didn't care. I don't know if he was getting bored. He loved performing, but the time in between, all the time that he wasn't on that stage for that hour, I guess the man was just bored, and he was trying to find different things to do. He would get toys or things grown.
Or he was very sick. His body was letting him down. He had breathing problems, lung problems, liver problems, heart problems, colon problems, glaucoma, twisted coma, enlarged curve. Elvis was very unwell. He had to turn to his doctors, his pharmacists. He had to. How else was Elvis going to get help? It was in the 70s. What do? You're very unwell. You're sick. You're in pain. You can't relax. You can't sleep. You need energy. You're a superstar. You're 2-3 concerts a day sometimes. What do? You take your medication. What happens when you're in extreme pain? You take more medication. What about when it's unbearable pain and you can't go to the toilet? You're constipated, extreme constipation. You cannot sleep. You can't wake up. You have no energy to perform. You turn to your doctors for medication. Did Elvis abuse it? Probably. Was he addicted to his prescribed medications? Probably. Did the doctors know what to do with Elvis? I doubt it. But your friends still don't turn on you. This is the mistake here. And I think you can see it in the body language of Sonny, that he's made a mistake and there's no getting out of it. There's no undoing what they've done. Elvis has passed. They can't believe that he died 2 weeks later, 2 weeks after the release of this trash betrayal book. And now they're trying to pick up the pieces and make good of it. I think they're hoping that the press conference makes everything okay, but it doesn't. I think this made things even worse.
Grown up things like three-wheelers and ride them around Memphis just for an hour or so, just to get out. I mean, the man was limited. He could be in the middle of the crowd, and he could be lonely. He was one of the loneliest men I've ever seen in my life. And we tried to be with him and protect him and keep him happy as the best we could. I swear to God we did, man.
Sonny,
And maybe you did, but then you made this stupid decision, this betrayal. Let me just read your comments, guys. I bet they couldn't believe it when they heard Elvis had passed away. This is Karen. The book was about to be released. We know about the phone call with Red West. We can watch it on YouTube. Elvis still was forgiving and helpful and spoke to Red West in a very kind way, a very honorable way. Elvis didn't know he was being recorded, but he was respectful and friendly, even forgave. You do what you got to do. So Stacy, they had to live with the fact that Elvis died hurt at them. Yeah, Stacy. This ruined their lives. I know they spent the rest of their lives trying to make money from Elvis's name, from being his ex-bodyguards, ex-friends, but this ruined their lives, guys. They carried this with them. Obviously, Dave's still alive, yeah? They carried this with them to the day they died, Red and Sonny. It's sad because we know that really Sonny and Red did love Elvis. That's what makes it more sad. So Chris said Steve Dunleavy was sleazy tabloid communist, and that is who they were paid to do this book, sleazy book. Yes, I understand that Steve made things a lot worse. It was sensationalized to sell more copies, but he never made the decision to do this book. They did. The three of them. So they have to accept responsibility. Martha says, when you think how good he treated them and their families and they turn around and pull this, it's disgusting. I agree. Martha, I agree. Stacy, the Page story was grossly lied about. Sandy Miller was there and set the record straight. Right, I'm going to do some research into this, Amy. Thank you. Of course, I agree with his illnesses were getting worse at the time. Look, I'm not going to whitewash Elvis. Of course, we know there was abuse, but we also know that he was seriously sick. He was genuinely sick. It wasn't an act. It wasn't a put on. He truly was unwell. Yeah. He did need medication. They can call it drugs if they want, but he did. So Elvis tried to stop her and she brought her own medicine. Sandy and Sonny wasn't even in the room. Okay. I need to learn about this, Amy, but thank you. Oh, thank you. Amy's going to send me some stuff. Auntie Amy. Sonny just made it up. Wow, they're trying their best to get out of it in this interview, making excuses for what they've done. Yes, Karen. Karen, thank you. I agree. They're trying to wriggle out of a hole, but you're not going to. This is why they've had a lifetime of abuse, a lifetime of hate. Could you imagine the hate these guys have had? Elvis fans are very loyal, very loyal. Yeah. Elvis fans saw through all this. They saw the betrayal. Many Elvis fans refuse to read this book. This is one of the most common things that are said to me. They refuse to read this book just on principle because of their love for Elvis. Michael Presley. Yes, we're live. Michael Presley, that's an unusual name. Introduce yourself, my friend. Who are you? Welcome to Team Elvis. Amy, I can understand if Dunleavy messed up a Page story, but Sonny went on years later to lie again in his own book. All right, that's interesting. I think I've got Sonny's book. Yes, let me have a look. I haven't read it, but is this the book you're talking about, Amy? Is this the book you're talking about? Still Taking Care of Business. So I could understand, all right, Elvis would have never done that to them. Well said, Amy. Well said. Elvis would never betray a friend. Never. I love that. And come on, we know how much he looked after them. So Michael Presley, welcome. Are you an Elvis fan? Are you from England, from America? Where are you from? Have you been on our show before? So yeah, they're in that front of that drawer. Yeah, they are big ones. Yeah, they unroll. Yeah, just take the whole lot upstairs. They were fired for a reason. Michael, hi, Michael. Yeah, if any of you know information why they were fired, I heard that fans had been hurt. There were some lawsuits. I think someone broke their ankle. Was it their ankle? So I heard there was some broken bones involved, and Vernon was worried about lawsuits. Is that true? Please tell me, guys. I'm learning. Oh, here we go. Yeah, Amy said it. Red broke a fan's jaw for no reason. They had issues with hurting fans. Right, thank you. Sorry, I've only just seen that. Chris, Elvis Dr. Nick kept his condition quiet. Thank you, Chris. I heard about them hurting fans. Yeah, but Dr. Nick had an impossible task. He did. We must admit this. I mean, I'm no Dr. Nick fan, but he had an impossible task. Elvis was never under the influence of drugs. Well, he was on strong medications. Come on. We know this, don't we, guys? He was heavily medicated with painkillers and steroids, and he had serious problems with insomnia, so sleeping tablets. He needed something to help him relax, help him have some energy, help him wake up. It was complicated. But, you know, Sonny's book is all about rehabilitation and the Memphis Mafia image as they ran the talk show gambit of interviews. Right, I haven't read the book yet. I will start to read parts of it. Chris, I forgot about the phone call. That was terrible too. Yeah, guys, it's on YouTube. Red West's phone call. It's quite upsetting to listen to.
Sonny, you said you didn't understand why he did what he did. What do you mean by that?
On what part?
You were saying, I just don't understand why he did it. I don't know what you meant by that. Did what?
Why he did the drugs?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess because he was bored. He was bored. And unless he was on stage.
How about he was unwell? Why can't these people must have known he was sick. They must have known he was sick. Even if he was abusing the medication, they must have known he was sick.
The man didn't have anything to do.
What drugs are we talking about?
Was he hooked?
We're talking about uppers and downers. We're talking about sleeping pills. We're talking about things like Demerol. Yes.
You actually saw him take?
Yes. Yes.
Was he a constant user of drugs? Is what you're talking about?
He would get on and off of them. I mean, it was, he would get on them, I guess, like I said, out of the boredom, and then he would, when he knew he had something to do and he had to be straight, he would go ahead and clear himself out of them for a while and just take the sleeping pills to go to sleep and not get totally out of it. Like after an engagement in Vegas, the first couple of days he would stay there, boy. After not being able to do anything except take sleeping pills and his uppers and things, he would just, for the first 2 days, just get totally wiped out on Demerol and things and just sit there and not even be able to open his eyes. Just
Sonny, over a period.
See, I don't like that. I don't like that. That is his friend. Sonny West is his friend that spent many years with him, that Elvis looked after. And look at the way he's trashing Elvis. Disgusting.
How many years was he involved in taking drugs?
Well, he told us a sergeant started him on Benzedrine or Dexedrine or something in the Army when he was on maneuvers out in the snow and everything.
Yeah, I agree with Chris. Chris is saying that they don't truly know what went on. There's a lot of guessing involved.
Sergeant said he didn't want the guys falling asleep, getting frostbit or frozen to death. He gave them, and this wasn't Army policy. It was just this sergeant had got them. And Elvis started using them then. When he came back,
Well, I've heard there was recreational drugs even in the mid 50s, but that was pretty normal for the mid 50s to take recreational. What did people call them in the 50s? You know, it doesn't mean that Elvis was a strung out druggie trying to get high.
I started for him in 1960. He was working out in karate. He had started, learning this art over there, and he was very enthused. And I started working out with him, and he was showing me, using me as what you call a dummy, where I would throw the punch and he would show the counteracting moves. And we started coming out here on the movies, and we started taking the diet pills with him because he was, at the time, it was just diet pills, and then he would take sleeping pills to counteract and go to sleep, and we did the same thing.
Come on, guys. Diet pills, sleeping pills. Big deal. Big deal. Everyone takes sleeping pills, especially in 1977, 76, 75, 74. It was completely normal. Diet pills. Big deal. What is the big thing?
We were out on locations. We were playing football in 100-degree weather out here at Caneo on Flaming Star, and the director, no one knew how we did it. It was because of the uppers.
Well, based on what you
Even, come on, guys. Even taking uppers. What is the big deal? You're a celebrity. You're making movies. You're doing tours. Yeah. There's a lot of traveling, a lot of hard work. You're expected to be on point for performing, for acting. What is the big deal? Even if some people took uppers, so what? So what? It doesn't make him a strung out druggie, a drug addict.
and based on what you know, then, do you believe that he died of natural causes, or do you believe that he died of a drug overdose?
I don't know, because I think one might contribute to the other. I think that I'm not a doctor. I don't know what drugs do to your body, but I would think that over a period of time that if you took enough drugs, down drugs, regardless of, what he did with them, as long as he took them and kept taking them over that period of time, I would think that the body would start deteriorating. I would think that the heart wouldn't be used to the up and down that it would be underneath the pressure from cocaine or from uppers and then back to a real low beat. I don't know. I think
Well, like Chris says, it's all guessing. It's all guessing. Yeah, he doesn't really know what Elvis took. Not really. Yeah. This is also about them getting on a talk show circuit, telling everything they know to make money. Sonny, on his dying bed, was miserable because he turned on Elvis and right to the end made excuses. Thank you, Chris. I know a lot of friends of mine, and I was growing up, we took uppers, including almost all my in-laws. Come on, it was pretty normal. It was pretty normal. It doesn't make him an addict. Performing more shows in the last couple of years than he performed in his breakdown year, 1956-57. Thank you, Michael Presley. Where are you? What country are you in? Welcome. It makes them feel better, Karen, so they don't have to feel bad. They're trying to make excuses. That's the bottom line, guys.
Yes.
Sonny, when
There were reports that not only was he pretty heavily into cocaine and quaaludes, but that he also was on some of the even harder stuff, the good hard drugs, heroin, for example. Did he ever do that?
I swear to God, I never saw him take any heroin. Never. I think that
That's better. That's better. I massively disagree with people when they go down the cocaine and heroin road when they're talking about Elvis, but let's listen to this.
I think it might have frightened him. He felt manipulating. That's how he got into the downers, because in the movies he noticed himself up on the screen talking so fast that he felt that he needed to counteract it and slow down, because he would say, I can't even understand that southern guy up there talking about himself. And he started experimenting with things to get him up and things to keep him there instead of taking him on up as high as the diet pill would, because I think that he was inhibited by cameras. He could get in front of a live audience and, man, everything came out of him. But I just think the impersonality of a camera and the way it stares at you, and I felt that he felt really shy, because he was basically shy, and I think that he felt basically shy in front of the camera so much that he started giving these to give him confidence, because I've taken diet pills and they give you confidence.
Did he ever have illegal supplies of drugs, or were they all prescription drugs?
No, the only ones I knew of were prescription, but in such amounts. He had so many doctors.
Cocaine?
Well, the cocaine didn't come from the doctors. It came from people that got it to him that weren't associated with him in the capacity of a doctor. And there's an incident in the book relating to that, about how my cousin Red charged in to stop it one time. I think he broke the guy's toe or something going through the door, and told him that he was going to break him up if he didn't quit getting the stuff to him. And Elvis heard about it, and meantime they had been mixing BX powder, or whatever you call it, with the stuff and grading it down. And it wasn't doing anything for him.
So Chris says, Red can barely talk about it. He knew Elvis the longest. Red brought Sonny into the Memphis Mafia. Listen to Sonny running off at the mouth. What happened to the Memphis Mafia privacy pack? Guys, it was a betrayal. This is very upsetting. This is actually hard to watch. I understand why Larry didn't want to watch it. It's heartbreaking. This is heartbreaking because this ruined many lives and families, I think. It's the whole thing is just heartbreaking.
And then he asked the guys about the stuff, and they finally admitted that they were scared and had been frightened by Red. And he called Red and Joe into a bedroom at a hotel on tour, and he told them that there would be no more bullying tactics, no scaring tactics, because these guys were scared of him, and that they discussed it for a while. And then finally he looked at Red and said, I'll never forget it, he said, I need him, man. I need it. And Red said,
Now, did this happen? I need a man. I need it. We've heard this a million times. Did it actually happen? We don't know, do we?
if you need it, then I won't ever do anything else about it. And that was the last attempt that Red had made from then on to stop things getting to him. We used to...
Yeah, Chris, I can't find that interview. Chris has just said about Sonny's interview on his bed. I've looked for that interview. I cannot find it. I will look again, though. I would like to listen to it. Honestly, I know it's a bit sad. He's in his hospital bed, I expect. But I do think as much information as we can get, the better.
To take things that came to him and break them down and change them. Change what was in the pain pills and things that he took. See, this is why I say it was all prescription stuff that he would get, that I saw it, except for the cocaine.
Did the other doctors know? In other words, he had 3 or 4 doctors who would be maybe giving him the same prescription. One doctor wouldn't know.
Different cities and not knowing it. Yes, sir, that is very...
So the only one that's still alive, Frederick, is Dave Hebler. And we have reviewed a few of Dave Hebler's interviews, and we're going to review some more. There was one sent to me the other day, in fact, quite a long one. I definitely want to go through that with you guys. So I think we might make that our next live. We're going to review Dave Hebler's interview. I've just got to dig it out. It's quite a good one. I think you're going to be fascinated by it. He shows no remorse. There's no sign of an apology. He still makes excuses. I think he's 89 years old, and he still makes excuses. This man has had 50 years of hate, and he still makes excuses. We just want him to say sorry and admit wrongdoing.
Possible.
The person who put the book together, Dunleavy, he said, I don't know if you've been pleased with the...
Only being out when he was a week and a half, 2 weeks at a time, just from the plane to the hotel, from the hotel to the building to do the show, and back to his hotel room, and locked in there till he left the next day. And when he couldn't stay up high, and he was just bored, and he would take these things to get him on stage and do it. And then he would take something to put him out so he could go to sleep, because he had to get up the next day and go to another city. But once he's on the stage, he's performing with everything he's got. He loved it.
Dave, how do you feel about
So obviously he's saying Elvis was still fantastic performing, loved being on stage. We know that. Elvis was happy, very happy on stage. But I'm not sure the situation with Red. I don't know if Red was anywhere near this conference. I'll be honest, this press conference, I'll be honest with you, I haven't watched this very often. I've watched it in sections. This is the longest section I've watched of it. So I'm not sure where Red West is when this is happening. I don't even know the date of this. I would like to know the date of this. It's 1977. It's called A Special Report. The bodyguards speak out. So
all this?
Dave, are you in agreement? Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you see all this yourself?
I'd like to respond to it in a couple of ways. Number one, I'm a little bit distressed about the total emphasis on
So Linda, did Sonny say that Elvis loved cocaine? I haven't seen that.
drugs and that particular aspect of our life, Elvis's life,
Right.
because it really wasn't, just that. There were a number of things. We lived with the man, We loved him, we cared for him, and I think it was reciprocal.
I do think Red and Sonny loved him. I'm not sure about Dave. I think Dave probably admired him, but I think there was some jealousy there and some envy. The problem with these people, they wanted to be Elvis. They could never be Elvis, but they wanted to be Elvis. They envied him. They were jealous of him, which the amount of attention, the amount of love that Elvis received from the world, the fans, the women. Obviously, Elvis had, was a very wealthy man. There's jealousy there. But Elvis was so good to these people. He was so, so good to these people. He definitely did not deserve what they did. He did not deserve it.
The book very clearly, I think, demonstrates that we had nothing but total respect for the man. We wanted more than anything else to see him as he was in his prime, on the stage, just knocking him dead, I think he was a...
Let me just pause this a minute. So that's the end of it. I'm not. This was sent to me a few weeks ago. So Michael Presley says Red could not do an interview because he was too high. I don't know about that. I am interested to know. I am interested to know where Red is. I'd like to know why he's not there. Does anyone know? Let me just see what comes up when I type this in. Right, this is an old thing that I did a while ago. Let me just let's listen to it, guys.
All I've ever done is try to maybe sometimes overprotect you, and that's the guy's truth. He was so wrong on one thing, and listen, don't get paranoid, because I'm just talking to you as a friend. Now, well, a private line is that fucking soul up. It's not, by no means. On the contrary, I never been in any better condition in my life. I went through a divorce, you were there. What I'm saying, that wedding thing, that wedding thing, it was in there overdone with so quick, so I realized I was married. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're talking about your wedding, yeah. Yeah. Let me say one more thing before you hang up. If everybody's worried about the book, tell them not to. If I can tell all from day one the good days. You do whatever you have to do. Okey-doke.
You do whatever you have to do. Yeah. And is this a section? Let's have a look here. What is this here? Let's listen to what Red... See, when we hear this, obviously Red protected Elvis. Elvis was picked on because he was seen as being a bit odd at Hume's High. He's not the healthiest looking guy, is he, Red West? He looks like he's had quite a rough life looking at him.
Got that. No, I know he didn't.
Obviously, this is the Kurt Russell film, yeah?
Pretty boy. Hey. Like a woman. He's a squirrel. Came out of a tree. Look at that.
See no reason to write him about it.
Maybe they wear it like that in Squirrel Town, but this is Memphis, boy. Yeah, we're gonna give him a trim.
That's just fine. See, you cut his hair. You're gonna have to cut mine too. And that's a whole different development now, isn't it? Now go on, get out of here.
Well, I think it's well known that Elvis never forgot that Red helped him. Elvis never forgot it. Which just makes the whole thing more sad, doesn't it? I love this film. The Kurt Russell film is my favourite Elvis film. I love the way that Kurt Russell plays him as well. But, guys, just all of it is tragic. So, Michael Presley, do you have your own channel? Answer based on factual information. So, Michael Presley, do you have a channel on YouTube? I'm sorry, no offense. It's the first time we've come across you. Have you been on our channel before, Michael? You're very welcome here, my friend. Team Elvis. We're called Team Elvis. You're very welcome. But just so you know, Michael, we have a Facebook page called Defending Elvis Presley. We have a 24-hour chat on that Facebook page. You can join it if you'd like. You can exchange your information, your pictures, videos, your research. And we're on there 24/7. The name of the Facebook page is Defending Elvis Presley. So please join it and join our 24-hour chat on Messenger. So I've only got a minute, guys. I've got to go. So Elvis called Red at the end. What did Red do? He recorded him without telling. Yeah, you're right, Chris. Secretly recording the conversation. It's just not right, is it, guys? It's not right. Money brings out the worst in people. Money and greed, envy, jealousy brings out the worst in people. It really does, guys. Elvis was always remembered people who helped him along the way. Thank you, Karen. So true. Chris, such another betrayal by Red. Yeah, Linda, you're right. You can just I'll type my name in. Michael, join my Facebook page. It's either my name or I'll give you my email address, which I've just sent now. You're welcome to email me. Now, obviously, we are Team Elvis. We do everything together. So you're welcome to come and chat with us on Team Elvis. I'm just doing my email address. But Michael, you're welcome to email me. We love it if you would join our Facebook page, join our chat, because we all come together and we chat. Yeah. But thank you for joining us. We always welcome new people to Team Elvis. So I think that's it. We're going to go and have some food now. The kids, yeah, Linda, who records a private conversation with a friend? Nobody. Nobody. You don't do it. Hi, Lorna. Actions speak louder than words. So, you know, we could do a part 2 and a 3 to this. There's a lot more to it. You've got the conversation here is on a transcript. There's another interview here. I think this is the one where Red gets angry at question time. Red gets upset. Let me just see if this is the bit. Let's just click on it a minute.
And the last thing his mother said to me is, you take care of Elvis. And I took that. I read you that. That's someone you never forget. I think he sat down. You are a very strong man. I'm going to tell you a very funny. It's now you sit. It's now you sit. It's now you sit.
I'm just trying to see the bit where Red loses his temper with an audience member. But I think what I'm going to do with this particular interview, I'm going to review it. So that's Todd Slaughter. He's a well-known, he was the president of a UK fan club, but he actually met Elvis weeks before Elvis died. Todd Slaughter was one of the last people to be filmed with Elvis in America, in at Graceland. I'm not actually sure where it was filmed, but even that in itself is a whole story in itself. So we're going to have to come back to a part 2, guys. So I'm going to go, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this. I've found this fascinating, but also very upsetting. Thank you, Amy, for all your information. Auntie Amy, we love you. All of you guys, thank you so much. We do 2 or 3 live streams a day. This has been very interesting, very heartbreaking. But guys, going to go now. All the best. Take care. Thank you so much for joining me. I send you all love. Thank you, Team Elvis. Thank you for all your help and input, guys. Love you all, guys. Take care.